exciting time to be a Crawley Town
Isn't it,
fan.
though? Isn't it? Now, it's one of the most picturesque race routes in the country. And this weekend, more than 13,000 runners are going to crowd the streets of Brighton for the city's second annual marathon.
But not content with notching up 26 miles, one man is hoping to run the course 4 times without stopping. And our reporter Juliet Parkin is live in sunny Brighton. A beautiful weather for the rest of us, Juliet, but probably not the best conditions for a marathon.
That's right, Polly. The warm temperatures expected for this weekend are going to be great for getting all those spectators out, but not so good for the runners. Organisers are telling them to stay properly hydrated, and to help them there'll be 175,000 water bottles out on the course. Along with that, around 320 toilets. And don't even think about bringing a car down to the seafront on Sunday. There'll be 4,000 traffic cones out lining the route. It's hoped that the second Brighton Marathon will be even better than the first. It was one of the biggest sporting events this city has ever seen. Thousands lined the streets to cheer on the athletes in the first ever Brighton Marathon. A famous face will be starting this year's race.
Grant wins the World Championship. Scott is second, a Wheat at third.
I've run a few myself and I'm getting slower every year, and I think that's the thing to say is to, you know, it might not be a day for trying to break your personal best or always to go for the target you've set. I think the thing on Sunday is to make sure you get round safely and enjoy it.
But for some, the 26.2-mile challenge is simply not enough. Tomorrow evening, Dan Lawson from Hove will start his bid to complete the course 4 times without stopping.
I think if I stop, I'm going to start, my muscles, my legs might start to seize up and get a little bit cold.
No stranger to distance running, Dan ran from Mumbai to Goa last year to raise money for Football Outreach, an international charity connected to Brighton and Hove Albion. So how does he feel about pounding the streets of Brighton after dark?
As soon as the sun comes up and the new day comes upon us, I'm sure I'll be flooded with a new energy, and then it'll be almost time for the 4th one that I run with everyone else.
The inaugural event was a huge success, and this year promises to be bigger and better.
A lot more railings along the seafront here to keep the crowds off the course, a lot more railings in the finish straight going into Madeira Drive to keep the crowds back. We've had to really bear in mind how big the crowds could be, and I hope they are big, but I hope that we can manage them okay.
He was nicknamed the Jarrow Arrow on the track, but would he consider a Brighton Marathon?
If I'm ever going to do a marathon, I need big crowds so I can hide it and people don't notice how slow I'm going. So, yeah, you never know. Not this year, but you never know.
Well, we will hold him to that, of course. Now, the barriers are already out here, as you can see, in preparation for the crowds on Sunday. The pier there will be a very welcome sight for some 13,000 runners as they make their way along the seafront here to Madeira Drive and the finish.
Thanks, Juliet. That's a fabulous effort, isn't it?
Glorious weather.
We're cheering them on from the back garden with a glass of something cold.